Repeated figure composition is something that can be found, well, as one of the four types of composition, painted composition. It can be found early on. It can be found in the 13th century. We have it very rarely, sporadically, 14th, 15th, and 16th century. It really becomes popular in the 17th century, and it is often used as decorative art. It's repeated figure compositions are often done in sets, and then these sets are hung along the walls of temples during certain rituals or during opening ceremonies, or they are hung permanently until they're too dirty to remain, and then they are changed out for new paintings or banners of some type. Now, repeated figure. The early subjects of the compositions are Buddhas. They're Shakyamuni, Amitabha, Medicine Buddha. These are the three main ones. And then after the 17th century, we get any deity. It can be a protector deity. It can be Bekse. It can be Mahakala. It can be Sri Devi. It can be peaceful, White Tara, Manjushri. It can be teachers. It can be all kinds of subjects. The 17th century is a period of openness with art. And there's not a strict adherence to the past or to doctrine. And you can mix many different subjects together. It just doesn't really matter that the figures that are chosen belong to the same iconographic program or the same tantric cycle. That doesn't really matter as much after the 17th century. But we do have to remember that paintings are also commissioned by ordinary Buddhists or Bon practitioners, and if there is some obstacle in life, or there's been a death in the family, or there's sickness, or there's a great loss of wealth, or there's a natural disaster, or flood, or famine, it's very common to go to a local religious teacher and to have a divination. You ask for a divination to be done to figure out what the problem is and to figure out how to cure it. And often the cure will be to pay the teacher some offering and then have a painting commissioned you might think 1,000 Buddhas or 1,000 Medicine Buddhas or 108 Shakyamuni Buddhas. Well, ordinary people can't have 108 paintings done or 108 sculpture created, but you can have a single composition painted, and you can have a large image in the center and then paint 100 or more images around. If it is meritorious to create one Buddha image, then certainly it's 100 times more meritorious to create 100 Buddha images. So, some of these repeated figure compositions that we find in Himalayan art are actually by practitioners who are having these compositions painted to remove obstacles and to have the ability to remove obstacles, to have this amount of merit that has been created from creating 100 Buddha figures. So this is also plays a role in the creation of repeated figure composition paintings in Tibetan art.